What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is Taylor. Today we're looking at the TONEX Cab, the newest release from 𝐒𝐏𝐄𝐈𝐀𝐋 into the TONEX lineup of products. If you were at NAMM last year being NAMM 2024, you probably saw some of these at the TONEX booth. They've been teasing these for quite a while now. And finally, as of January 2025, they are releasing them for the public, you guys, to purchase them, you know, if you want, or don't, I don't know. But I've been really interested in these since NAMM 2024. I think what 𝐒𝐏𝐿Timedia is doing with TONEX and the TONEX ecosystem is really interesting and really smart in a lot of ways. The TONEX software is excellent, although it does take forever to make a tone model of a high gain amplifier for some reason, but they do sound really, really good. I like the TONEX pedal. I like the TONEX 1. The TONEX 1 was one of the best releases of last year. I mean, it's a big win. It's so small. But before we get into all this, I have a bunch of disclaimers to make here real quick. Number one, 𝐒𝐏𝐿Timedia is sponsoring this video. That's why you got the little paid content thing up here on YouTube. But I've been asking to review this ever since NAMM last year when actually, now that I think about it, it might have been NAMM 2023. I'm gonna have to correct myself on screen right here. But whatever, whenever I saw the TONEX Cab for the first time, I was always interested in reviewing it because, I mean, you know, look at, I like all their other stuff. It makes kind of sense that I would like this too. Number two, this is an FRFR speaker. If you aren't sure what an FRFR speaker is, let me clumsily explain it to you real quick. An FRFR speaker is a flat response full range speaker or full range flat response speaker. One of the two. And the way that I would think about it is it's like a PA speaker or a studio monitor or something like that, where you get the full range response, but it doesn't color things like a guitar cabinet. It's very, very different than a guitar cabinet. It is a powered FRFR speaker. So this is, actually, let's just read the specs right now. This is the TONEX Cab. It's a powered FRFR speaker. I already said that. It has a built-in 350 watt RMS 700 watt peak audiophile grade Class D power amp. They wrote audiophile grade in their specs. I don't know if there's some certification you can get for that, but that's what it says. It has 132 decibel max SPL for exceptional punch and clarity on any stage, and we will test this out in a live scenario later on in this video. It has a programmable 3-band EQ and custom IR loader with 8 onboard presets. It has a custom Celestion 12-inch speaker and 1-inch high-performance compression driver. We have 2 XLR 1/4-inch combo jack inputs, 1 main and 1 for auxiliary, MIDI in and out, and a USB connection for connecting it to your computer and loading IR files. We have an XLR output that can be switched in between pre or post processing so that you can send your signal to front of house directly from the TONEX Cab. It also has a ground lift switch. It weighs 28 pounds. It has a swappable grill cloth, integrated tilt back legs, and I can't be 100% sure on this since I have a pre-launch unit, but it looks like at the time of making this video, they are targeted for a $799 price tag. All in all, everything fits in this sleek 1x12 combo sized package. All right, there's the specs. More disclaimers here. Capturing the sound from an FRFR speaker is kind of difficult. It's not like you can mic it up just like a guitar cabinet. Like anyone who's ever done a review on any studio monitor ever will probably tell you in their video. It's hard to capture the fidelity of what you're hearing through the speakers and translate that over YouTube, but I'm gonna do my best here. That's why I have 2 microphones on here. I have the SM57 capturing the close-up sound, and then I have an OC16 moved about 6 inches away. I'm gonna blend those together to do my best to recreate what I'm hearing in the room, but it's probably best if you put on headphones. I mean, that'll probably help, I'm sure, you know? And for this demonstration, I am using the TONEX pedal. The reason I'm using the TONEX pedal over the TONEX 1 pedal is because of the built-in screen. It's just a little bit easier for me to navigate. I am running the Devil pedal from my company, Obsidian Audio, in front of the TONEX pedal. Most of the amp models that I have on here are just the actual amps. They're not boosted. So I always run a boost in front of the TONEX pedal. And you know, that one has a built-in noise gate. It's super versatile. That's why I like using it. The sound that you're hearing right now is a preset of a Mesa Boogie triple rectifier from the Mesa Boogie reference pack that they released last year. Let's boost this and then we'll get that noise gate in front. Right away, the first time that I plugged this in, I was really surprised with how loud it is. Now we will test this later on. I will take it and like jam with my drummer, you know, at normal band practice volume and see if it can keep up and if it can hang and, you know, if it just falls apart at louder volumes. We'll do that later on in the video, but for a 1x12, it is very, very loud. And I am not the world's most authoritative expert on anything, really, but especially FRFR speakers. But with the few that I've tried, and the TONEX Cab is no exception here, there is a lot of low end. The main hurdle that I had with the TONEX Cab initially was just getting the low end under control. Now we do have the 3-band EQ in the back, and because of the way this is set up, you can't see the controls at the same time, so I'm just gonna have to tell you what I'm doing back here. But I just have the low end dipped down just a little bit, you know, nothing crazy. And then I boosted the mids and the highs a little, you know, just a scotch. And another thing that I will say in my experience, and the reason that I started with this Mesa Boogie reference preset, I noticed with my own IRs, they didn't sound nearly as good as the built-in TONEX IR. So I have my go-to IRs that I really like when I'm mixing or anytime I'm doing anything where, you know, you need an IR. Okay, I can't believe I forgot to say this in this video, but I actually have a pre-release version of this TONEX Cab, and the one that I have does not have the ability to load IRs yet, which is unfortunate because I'd really like to try this with some analog preamp pedals, but I'm just gonna have to wait until after they update it at launch to do that, so yeah, that's why you don't see it in this video. Okay. Back to the video. And they sounded kind of hollow, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it's the sampling rate, maybe it's the sample size, I'm not really sure. But I just noticed that they just sounded quite a bit different. This is a tone model of my VHT Deliverance 120 with my Mesa X1A IR, and you can just hear the difference. It's a little bit like echoey, cavernous almost. Never mind, it actually sounds awesome. While it does sound really, really cool, and I hope that's translating to you because it sounds like a monster in the room. While it does sound really, really cool, I find that with my own IR, it just sounds a little bit flat. So let's go to the built-in IRs. They actually call them models. It's like a cab model, I guess. But let's go into that and I'll show you here. I just think personally that the built-in cab models have more of like a dynamic response to them, and they punch a little bit more in the midsection, but I haven't experimented with that enough to know for sure, so take that with a massive grain of salt. But just know if you throw in your preset and it sounds maybe like scooped or flat or something like that, just, you know, try swapping out the cabs with one of the built-in cab models. Yeah, let's go to another sound here. This is a tone model of my Savage MK2. By the way, you can get both the Savage and the Deliverance on the TONEX marketplace. You know, if you want, you don't have to, but if you're interested in them, that's where they are. Now we do have an additional feature on this that I want to touch on real quick. There is a knob that will go in between mic and live, and when you blend that in, you get this sort of like, well, I don't know, let me just show you and then I'll try and explain what it's doing. So this is all the way on mic. And then let's blend that all the way up to live mode. Hearing it in the room, it's almost like it's boosting the mids and then cutting the low and the high a little bit. That's what it sounds like to me. And I think the best way to think of this feature is a sort of in the room sort of sound. So when you close mic your cabinet and you capture it, you know, you're getting like a snapshot of a microphone right up against the grill cloth, typically. And what this sort of does is it allows you to have some more like air almost, and like to push the mids and have it cut in a way that's like very, I don't know, it's really hard to explain. I think it's really interesting. I think it's a cool feature, and I definitely want to test it in a live scenario because I think that's probably its best application. But I found that for the most part, I'm rocking that pretty low, maybe about like 10 o'clock, something like that. Okay, hopefully I've given you guys some good comprehensive information here, but I think the only thing left to do is to take this to a live band practice scenario and just see how it responds when we crank it up at volume. Will it keep up with the drummer? Will it fall apart at loud volumes? There's only one way to find out. Okay, I'm gonna get the Tonex rig ready, and then I'm gonna take this over, and we're gonna check it out with the drummer. I'm specifically interested at how much it breaks up at louder volumes. Like, if we start pushing this thing up, is it gonna get, is it gonna start like farting out? Is it gonna retain its tonal qualities? I'm also really interested to check out the amp tone knob, that lets you blend in between like the mic'd sound and like more of a live sound. I'm interested to see if that helps things cut through the room a little bit, because it does really push out the mids in more of like an amplifier sort of way, when you turn an amplifier up really loud. So very interested to see how this goes. I just need to pick out a guitar to take with me and put everything in a case, and yeah, let's do it. So I just have the guitar case and the Tonex Cab. Check this out, this is actually really cool. I decided to take this Solar X guitar, not for any particular reason. This was just the most easily accessible case, so that's why I grabbed this guitar. But look at this, man. The Tonex pedal fits like exactly in here. It fits perfectly. That's so funny. And then, of course, I'm taking the Devil and take my 𝐒𝐂𝐂𝐈𝐿 DC7. I power everything with this thing. It's awesome, dude. These guys have nothing to do with this video, by the way. I just really love these power supplies. They're really awesome. And then I have all my cords in here. Plenty of room for all that, so we're just gonna load this up here. Oh no. Oh, it doesn't quite fit. That's probably, it might fit. It might fit. Let's see if we can get away with it. It's okay. It all latched up. So this is really cool. This is like a perfect scenario. I thought I was gonna actually have to load some stuff up in a backpack or something, which is fine. You can still do that. But I literally only have 2 things to carry in with me. Just these 2 things. That's it. That's all I have to carry into that room with me. Pretty easy load in and load out, if I'm being honest with you. Let's do that and let's get down there. This thing is fucking loud. Duncan. It's fucking loud, right?
It's super fucking loud.
Here's how I had it set. I bumped it up to like 75% there at the end, but for the most part, I had this thing at like half volume. And, here's where I had the settings. I did have to dip the bass. There's so much low end on this thing. I had to dip out the bass quite a bit. And then I noticed with this amp tone knob also, definitely in a live setting, there's a compromise here, because if you go mic all the way to the left, you get the differences in between each tone model more accurately, the way that you would expect them from the program. However, it's a lot harder to hear it in a live setting because it's almost scooped a little bit. So when you put that over to live, it really like boosts the mid a lot, and it makes it cut through quite a bit. You do that at the cost of losing the subtleties in between the different tone models, because all of my tone models, although they're very similar anyways, they definitely lost any uniqueness, especially in the cab selection. They all kind of started to blend together. They all started to sound like just very mid-rangey. All right, so I'm wrapping up here. I was just saying bye to Duncan. I just wanted to talk about this while I am thinking about it. I don't want to lose any of these thoughts. It is so loud for a little 1x12 speaker. Now, with that being said, I mean, as you can imagine, one 12-inch speaker competing with a drummer, it's a lot to ask. And because of that, when you have it at those really loud volumes, you are sacrificing, some of the definition, I would say, of your tone. And I really like that they added in that control that you can blend between mic and live, because that thing does help out quite a bit, man. It really just like sculpts the mid-range and makes it push through you know, your drummer, band, whatever. Now, obviously this wasn't a full band rehearsal. It might be a little bit different if you were fighting like 4 other musicians, but you know, I mean, you heard it with the loudest instrument there, the drums. I mean, that's typically the loudest instrument in a band that everyone's trying to compete with. So I feel like it should give you a pretty good idea of, you know, how it works in that sort of situation. All right, shout out to 𝐒𝐏𝐄𝐈𝐀𝐋 for sponsoring this video. Shout out to you guys for being here with me. Really appreciate it. If you really like what I do here on this channel, consider subscribing. If you really, really like it, you can be super OP and join these beautiful people over here on Patreon, where you get behind the scenes access, stuff like that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.